All right, Bill family. So realistically, at this point in time, you are ready to go to start uploading data into the system, right? Now, of course, there are some prerequisites to that data, right? So depending on how you want to start sending your LOIs, you want to make sure if you're only doing cash or seller finance, that at least there's an ARV and a square footage in that data set. At the same time, if you plan on doing creative finance deals, then just make sure, like, subject to and hybrids, then make sure that you have mortgage balance information, right? But let's go ahead and deep dive back into this and get right to it. So we're already done setting up our marketing users. The only thing that's left again is to upload that data. So assuming I have a list of data right here, this list was pulled from batch leads. Again, if you pull it from PropStream or DealSauce or Deal Machine, there's plenty of tools out there where you can pull your data from. Probably care you pulled it from Redfin, uploaded it to a tool like PropStream, and then re-export it. They all work. The whole point of here is you'll notice that this data set has ARV, right? And it might be named AVM, it might be named estimated value, it might be named whatever you want, right? Same thing goes for the loan estimated balance. It could be named loan 1 if you're using PropStream. So just keep that in mind. Every data set is going to have something a little bit different. So as I was saying, you could have different column headers that could be different for each type of list that you pull. So this, I will give you guys this attached at the bottom of this video, which basically allows you to map them accordingly. If you're using PropStream, or if you're using batch leads, if you're using DealSauce or X leads, PropWire, kind skip tracing, they're all pretty much the same thing, including Deal Machine. They pretty much follow the DealSauce as well. So just keep in mind, these are our CRM mappings inside of our system. And then we're of course going to be uploading from batch leads at this moment. So just follow along. Data sets are pretty much all the same thing with just different title headings. So we can just file download as a CSV. If you're using Excel, save as CSV, just keep that in mind. Now I went ahead and already downloaded it, so we can move forward to the next step. If you click on contacts right here, this is where you're going to start uploading the data, right? So we're going to click on import contacts at this moment. If you do not see this button, you do not have admin access. You should just keep that in mind. Go contact your admin or the one that's paying for the service. Click on import contacts. And again, we want to make sure this one's already selected as contacts. Do not use opportunities. And we're going to click on next. Now, there is a heads up when you're uploading your data. I will repeat this as many times as I need, okay? This data set, before we upload it, if you're going off market, please make sure you clean your data. Please verify the phone numbers and emails are scrubbed, because if you send an email to a wrong email, the email will bounce, ruin your reputation. If you try to send a text message using our Twilio services, and it's in a landline, it could also bounce and flag and eventually get yourself suspended. So keep that in mind, please, guys. Make sure your data's clean. Oh, and also one other thing, right? This example is going to be uploading for on market. Off market is literally no different. So just keep that in mind. Going back inside here. Also, one more thing, make sure there is no duplicates. And what I mean by that is you have an agent in here. Let's say this person right here, Richard, is a duplicate. Make sure you're not uploading Richard twice into the system. It'll only collect one of them anyways. So just keep that in mind. We want to be if you do have duplicates, what you want to do is just upload it into a new tab at the bottom and upload it separately, right? So you would create a new tab right here. And let's just say the Richard one right here, we only want one. We'll copy that, or we'll cut it out completely. We'll go ahead and just paste it. We can upload this one separately later, and you're good to go. Just make sure there's no duplicates. Going back in here, we're going to click on upload, and I'm going to choose this one as the main upload that we're going to put inside of here. And then you can leave everything else as is. Create and update contacts, that's fine. We're going to click on next. And now this is where the mapping comes. And this is where this spreadsheet right here that you'll see, depending on which data set you're pulling, is actually really helpful. So since we're using batch leads, address will take to street address. Make sure that is correct. Street address, city, state. Notice how these ones are already pre-mapped, which is fine. County, not really a requirement. If you want to upload it, you're more than welcome to. Total loan balance in this instance, well, in our system is called loan 1. right? And why is it loan one balance 2.0? Because PropStream gives you the ability of 4 types of loans, so it'd be nice for us to know if how many loans there are on a property. But since batch leads and maybe deal slots don't have that specific, this way we could just have to stick it at loan one balance. Now again, you could put it at loan 2, loan 3, or loan 4. It doesn't really matter. It'll still add up correctly and still make sure your subject to deals and hybrid deals are correct. But make sure you set it to a loan one balance. Do not set it to total loan balance. Same thing goes here, estimated value. Well, estimated value in this case, there's one right here, and there's also an ARV. Let's actually double check that, because estimated value and then ARV, this number is a little bit higher, so I would assume this is the actual ARV. Yeah, so we're going to take ARV in this instance since this is batch leads, and let's actually double check. Right, so batch leads, actually we use the estimated value. Good thing we double checked. So in this instance, we're going to ignore the ARV and we're going to keep the estimated value. And here we're just going to type ARV, and you'll notice 2.0 will pop up. So make sure 2.0 is selected. On/off market, if you followed the little tutorial here and you added the new column, you don't have to do this, but it's good to know, especially if you're uploading multiple, on and off market at the same time. At the end, we're going to be adding a tag anyways to specify whether this list is on market or off market. So I'm actually going to skip this one for the tutorial since it's not really mandatory. But if you wanted to, you could put it under on/off market. Make sure it has the 2.0. There is another one inside here, and if you put it on the wrong one, it doesn't really work. So just keep that in mind. Loan type in this instance, well, loan type would be loan type on our end. So loan type, notice loan one type 2.0 automatically pops up. Loan amount, we are actually not using the loan amount, right? So again, if I go over here to batches, there is no loan amount here. We have the total loan balance, but that's all we need. We don't need the full loan amount. This is why I like tools like PropStream. PropStream allows me to save and export so that I don't really have to worry about, should I add this or should I not add this, right? And you can follow our tutorials below this if you need to. But loan estimated interest rate, again, here we could honestly just type in rate and you'll find loan one rate 2.0. And then here's, you have loan estimated balance. That's fine. In this instance, which one are we using? Total loan balance. So this is not the one that we're going to use. So total loan balance, we already have it up here. So loan estimated balance we can ignore. ARV, we said we're going to ignore because we have estimated value, so that's fine. MLS listing amount. This is because it's on market. If you're dealing with off market leads, you're not going to have this one. It's just good to know to have, but in this case, you can select asking price in our system, asking price 2.0. So if I again go back to batches, let's say listing amount is asking price 2.0 if on market. So just keep that in mind. MLS agent name, because it's on market, you could just select it as name. If it's direct to seller and you have their first and last name, just select, you could separate it by first and last if you need to. Just keep that in mind. MLS agent phone number, we could just select phone. An email would be email. If you have multiple phones inside your spreadsheet, just keep in mind you want to stack them together, separated by commas. So let's just say you had phone 1, 2, and 3. Just make sure phones 2 and 3 are merged, separated by commas, but so that you can upload them as additional phone numbers. And in here, let's say if you search for additional, you'll see additional phones where you can link them to. But for now, we're not going to worry about that. Click on phone. And the same thing goes for emails. There's additional emails as well if you had multiple. APN is fine. Don't really need it, so we'll just ignore it. And then the last thing is total building square feet. In our system is square feet. So SQFT 2.0. Now, you'll notice there's a few ones we didn't check. Of course, we could upload them into our system. They wouldn't really hurt. You might have to add a new custom field or whatever along the way. But the other ones that are not selected are not mandatory, so just keep that in mind. The ones that are really mandatory are your street address, city, state, and postal, right? Your loan one balance, if you want to create a finance, your ARV, and basically your name, phone, and email and square feet. So just keep that in mind. So at this point in time, I'm going to click don't import data into 5 unmapped columns, and you might have 100 unmapped columns. It doesn't really matter. Click next. Now this is really, really important, right? There's 2 things we need to do. If you remember earlier, we added our marketing users to a specific workflow, right? So they could round robin. Well, we need to add all these contacts to that workflow, and that workflow is called one.newLeads 2.0, right? So that's the one that we need. Make sure that's the one that's selected. And then what we'll do here at this point in time is we're going to add some tags on the second line. And this is, again, really, really important. If your data set is on market, make sure the tag on space market is on here. So on market, and select the on market tag. If your leads are off market, then make sure your data says off market, right? And select the off market tag, but only select one. Okay. If your data is mixed up, then you don't really want to use this. You want to use the columns I suggested earlier with the on/off market 2.0 mapping. But in the case you didn't do that, you want to separate your list between on market and off market and upload them separately. So for now, since this data set is on market, we're going to ignore the off market. And then what we're going to do is we're also going to add the tag agent, right? Agent, why? Because the backend system will start following up with agents after 60 days for pocket listings. But it's also good to know that our data here, these are agents that we're talking to. In the case it was direct to seller, you can put seller, sellers, doesn't really matter. If it's not in here, just add, you can add it. It doesn't really matter. But we'll just leave it at that. And then I like to personally organize myself and say, Mo uploaded this data on, let's say, January 1st, 2025, right? On a specific date that I uploaded this data, right? Now, again, right, this is just for myself to keep myself organized. You can put something along the lines of pre-foreclosures if you're doing direct to seller. You can put whatever you want, whatever filter you want to be able to search for later on. So just keep that in mind, right? So that's how that would work. Again, most important thing, add it to one.newLeads 2.0 and make sure the tag on market or off market is there. And then of course you have the ability of adding other tags like agent, seller, and then of course whatever other one you want. And then we're going to click on I confirm here at the bottom, and we're going to click start bulk import. So this will take a few minutes, so just keep that in mind. Depending on how much data you have, you'll be able to keep track of it over here in the bulk actions. You notice this is already processing. And so these leads will actually automatically be added to your opportunities under new untouched. So right now it's 264. Let's see what it gets up to. So right now we're at 268. This is slowly growing. You can see them right here. They're adding in there right now at the moment. If you wanted to manage your fields, just so you can kind of see certain things. But if you click on acquisitions, click on deal type and click on apply and click on confirm. Now we'll be able to see that these deals that were sent out, these are SUBTO deals. We have some hybrids over here. The system, if it hasn't evaluated it and it hasn't determined, like, the system is still loading, calculating that deal in the back end. So just keep that in mind. All right, so now that you've uploaded your data, you'll start seeing that your offers will immediately start moving to interested send offer. Note, if your leads are under new untouched, they will not send the offer out, okay? The offer will only be sent out if the lead is physically either A, moved over to interested send offer, or you have the auto drip feature on, which we turned on earlier, and we set it to sending out 90 offers per day. So just keep that in mind, right? Your offers will not be sent out in this position. And there is a full breakdown video below this under the power-ups, which explains each stage of this if you care to really deep dive and understand that. So you'll notice here there's hybrid deals, there's SUBTO deals. You'll even find seller finance deals if they have like 100% equity and so forth. If you want to convert them to cash at any point in time, let's say there's this deal, it's a SUBTO, you can click on acquisitions and just change it to cash deal, right? So when you actually do send out the offer, it'll actually send out as a cash deal instead, as well. So just keep that in mind. Notice how it changed the cache. We can go ahead and send that offer as well. But you know, right off the bat, you know, if we have all these offers being sent out, the moment we move them over, it does take 3 minutes for the offer to actually send out. This gives you enough time to go inside here and take a look at, let's say, acquisitions, and you know, say, oh well, I don't want to give them a cash offer at this amount or whatever discount cash offer, and I want to change this number to whatever, and click update before the actual offer gets sent out. That's why there's a 3-minute timer there. Again, you're more than welcome to remove that timer at any point in time. It doesn't really matter, right? But let's go over to this one right here. This one is sent out at 2:13, so this needs about a minute, and the offer will actually be sent out. If you scroll down here to the bottom, you will see that right now it's in a workflow, email SUBTO offer, and then it's in another workflow, auto send offers, you know, which we had earlier. So just keep that in mind. You know, once this one actually triggers in another minute or so, it should send the offer. And let's just give it that minute while we're talking about other things on here. So inside of the contact, you'll see that, you know, here's your address information and whatnot, but also in the deal input values. Oh, notice our offer was sent out. So lovely. We can open that up and take a look at the offer. Again, it's not pretty. You want to modify this and make it look prettier and so forth to your branding. You can also change all this wording to whatever you like, but that's in a different video. But like I was saying before, you have your deal input values. These are the values that we put in during the bulk upload. All right. And then if you scroll down, there's deal analysis 2.0 auto. These are the values that populated based off our calculations and AI technology in the back end, evaluating the deal. So just keep that in mind. These are all the values. You don't really have to do anything here. It automatically updated those values on the opportunity card as we saw earlier. But in the case you wanted to change them before the offer gets sent out, just make sure to do so here under acquisitions and edit these values instead. So just keep that in mind. But now you're ready to go. You start sending offers. We already have 10 offers being sent out. That's awesome. Hopefully we can start getting some responses as soon as possible.